you so much for coming back and joining me on my channel, Supreme Comics Girl. You're really welcome to be here. So I am going to be talking about the first season of season 2 of Star Wars The Mandalorian, which is a series that's being shown on Disney Plus. Now, I am a Disney fan, but I'll be honest, the main reason why I got a Disney Plus subscription was because I loved how the trailers and stuff looked for, obviously, season 1. I absolutely loved season 1. I have reviewed all of those. And yeah, I absolutely loved this episode. It was mind-blowing. I don't like to throw the word epic out there, but this episode was that. It was epic. A lot of people are sort of saying that they don't like it because, well, some people are saying because it's too westerny. I'm very confused by that, because if someone asked me to describe this, I would say that it's very sci-fi western-esque vibe. That's how I would interpret it. And I love that. This episode it went really, really western. Oh my gosh. And Mando on his speed bike and everything, that scene was absolutely spectacular. Visually, I just have to say, hats off. The visuals were absolutely spectacular. Very crisp and very clear. You know, whenever you're watching something on your TV, right, and you're thinking, yeah, okay, I might have a good quality TV, but you're maybe watching something like, I don't know, dolphins or fish in the ocean, and you're like, wow, that's really crisp and clear. It was like that. Does that make sense? I even felt like I was watching like a freaking blockbuster movie. It was that high of a quality, and you can tell that they've really put a lot of work and effort into this show, that they have spent top dollar. Ludwig Göransson, I want to talk about being a singer, being a songwriter, playing guitar. I am a massive follower of his work. I love the music score for this episode, and he did a fantastic job on the last season as well, but for this episode it has been his best work so far, music score wise. He actually did the music for the game Bloodborne, in case anybody, doesn't really know anything, it might be of interest to you. He also did Black Panther as well, of course, it's a Marvel movie, and massive Marvel fan over here, hello. Anybody who loves Marvel. And he actually was saying, of course, as we all know, awful things, going on in the world at the moment. It's not a good thing at all. Horrible. And he basically said that this season is a lot of fun, and he also had a lot of fun doing the music score for all these episodes for the second season, and that we all deserve to have a bit of joy. And he is so right, and this heck to the freaking well yes give me joy, I have to say. The first thing I want to say is we'll start with the opening scene basically, and the opening scene was Mando and the child, aka, the most adorable little thing ever, Baby Yoda, and they were just sort of walking towards the screen, and it was so dark and gritty, and some of you know my channel well, I love dark and gritty, probably why my favourite Halloween movie is The Crow. And I just thought that it was very dark, and I just thought it was class. And then we seen the walls, and the graffiti and everything was all over the walls, and you just think straight away, of course I thought straight away, Sabine Wren. And I love Sabine Wren, I love her characters, of course she's from Star Wars Rebels. Let me know in the comments if you like Star Wars Rebels. I know not everybody does, but I absolutely love Star Wars Rebels. And the first bit of graffiti that really stood out to me was what looked like C-3PO, obviously. Something that I am wondering about, and I was actually saying this to a friend of mine, we've been talking back and forth about this episode, and I am wondering, talking off Sabine Wren, if we're going to find out if she found Ezra. So that's going to be, interesting. So in this episode, guys, of course, Mando was, looking out for, other Mandalorians. And in this episode, what was super cool for me, and I'm sure for so many other Star Wars fans out there, especially big gamers, was we went Knights of the Old Republic. And it was also so cool that we got to go to Tatooine, and I have to talk about some favourite scenes as well. So sorry if this is kind of all over the place, guys, but that's just me in general. I'm always all over the place, like, do you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. But when Mando was fighting the guards, I thought that was a class because he was using his whistling birds, you know, like he did in the first season 1. And I just thought that that was so cool. And you basically got to see within that just how strong the Beskar armor actually is, because when he was fighting them, you know, no matter what happened, it just bounced off his armor like a ping pong ball. Like, I just thought that was amazing. And for me, this episode, it went monstrous. Like, Jon Favreau, I freaking love you. You're a legend. Big creature, you know, the Krayt Dragon, very monstrous, brilliant starting point, by the way, for a season. You know, this is the first episode of season 2. Of course, you know, he was looking for other Mandalorians, but the problem was he was needing to find Mos Pelgo, but that didn't actually show up in the map, which was, you know, the issue. But that was basically because it was, you know, wiped out by bandits, and, you know, the Sand People, you know, aka the Tusken Raiders, were using it for mining and all these sorts of things. Then we had the really prominent character in this entire episode, which was Fanth, aka the Marshal. I don't know why I done that. Why did I even do that? I don't know. Anyway, that's me watching Friends too much, because in one of the episodes, going to go a wee bit off, guys, in one of the episodes, it's like Joey and Ross do this wee thing together, and they're like, and Joey doesn't know how to use it in the right way. Anyways, right, so Fanth, the Marshal, okay, he shows up and he's standing there in Boba Fett's freaking well armor, and you see when you first see him, at like a first half a second glance, you're like, oh my gosh, is that Boba Fett? You're like, no, it's not. Do you know what I mean? But you see his armor and you're like, what are you doing wearing that? That's mine. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, right, but even when Fanth took off his helmet, you could tell that really bothered Mando. You know when you just know when you get that sense or aura that he just was like, I'm like pissed off at you kind of deal. So he basically then is like, dude, see what you have on you there, your armor, by the way, I want it, so, you know, give me your armor kind of thing. And Fanth, basically, the Marshal, gives him an ultimatum, and he's like, well, okay, how about I give you my armor if you can basically defeat the Krayt Dragon, who has been threatening people for many years on Mos Pelgo, okay? So here's where we go, the Knights of Old Republic, because, you know, the way you had to sort of work with the Tusken Raiders in the game in order to defeat the Krayt Dragon, and you had to sort of like lure it out and use explosives and stuff. Well, just like in this episode, that was the same thing that happened. You know, they kind of lured it out and everything, and Mando and everything was there, and they were luring it out. And the weak point was the stomach. So what I want to talk about here is, oh my days, the ripple effect of the sand, how everything, like the sand went rippling and everything. And just all the movement of the visuals of that was just, I don't even know, don't just text it freaking well, yes, I don't even know what else to say. And how the Krayt Dragon looked, oh my, amazing. Hats off to the visuals. Then you get to see the jaw of the Krayt Dragon, and that was the whole entire size of the screen. I mean, I only watched it on my phone on Disney Plus, but really late one night, but you could just see it, the whole size of my freaking phone was the jaw. I'm going, wow, that is so freaking class, like how cool is this? And I just kind of felt in a way I was watching Jaws but on sand without the water. I don't know, I just thought I would add that in because I thought it was kind of funny, but I'm not funny. But I do try to be, do you know what I mean? Like, I kind of take that after my dad. Me and my dad always try to joke around and all, but I should stop talking now. So we're going to move on, right? We're going to now talk about the dragon remains, because, oh my days, that shot was my favourite shot out of this whole entire episode. I would say so, yes. Do you know the shot where after they defeated the Krayt Dragon, and it was sort of like a shot panned from, I mean, I don't know anything about cinematography, but you know what I mean? From above, showing downwards. Well, when you seen the remains of the Krayt Dragon, that was just a massive callback for me, and just I loved that as a Star Wars fan, because if you remember C3PO when he was walking past Dragon Remains in Tatooine, and I absolutely thought that was just thank you so much, Jon Favreau, because there's what I loved about this episode, guys, was there was just so much in it. There was Easter eggs, throwbacks, even the game, you know what I mean, the Knights of the Old Republic, so much in there for so many different fans. And that's the thing, Jon Favreau cares about Star Wars fans and what they would, he sits down, he's thinking, you know, what would they want, you know. He's even sat down with George Lucas, guys, George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, and has sat and said to him and taken advice from him. And that just shows you the type of guy. He really, really does care about this. Even the same as Ludwig Göransson, who done the music. He really cares as well. I mean, as an example, when he was doing the music for Black Panther, I was watching a video about him talking about it, and he was saying, I actually was asking for advice as to what sort of like, you know, music vibe I should go for, and speaking to different people of how I should actually go around it to get the right vibe for the movie, you know, Black Panther. The world building in this episode was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I thought it was so cool getting to go to Tatooine and everything, and I actually kind of felt like I was there, to be honest. I honestly felt like I was there in that moment. And what a monstrous episode this was, Jon Favreau, seriously. Then, guys, we get to the end and we see Boba Fett, and I lost my, like, I literally did lose it. My jaw just dropped, honestly, and my eyes and everything, like, oh my gosh, it's Boba freaking well Fett. And yeah, that moment would have been the best thing, to be honest. Although I absolutely love that part, don't get me wrong, that's my second favourite part. But I have to say, I love the part where they shot down, we could see the dragon remains. Maybe they're both my favourite joint together. It probably would be a joint thing. Those two were probably my joint favourite. But yes, it was more like just shock, like, oh my gosh, what the frig? He's not dead, you know what I mean? So what's awesome about that is obviously we are going to be getting lots more throwbacks from the original trilogy. You know, we're going to be getting a villain maybe going after trying to get the armor and everything. I think that Boba Fett obviously escaped from the Sarlacc pit, because if you can remember as well, like, you know, just thought I'd randomly add this in Return of the Jedi, Jabba the Hutt said that basically the victims can live for, you know, a long time, you know, years inside the stomach of these creatures. So when obviously he has maybe came out of when he escaped from the Sarlacc pit, that he's been obviously lying there, like, you know, pretty much half dead, obviously. that would be when the Jawas would have then been able to go and take Boba Fett's armor, and then that's how it ended up in the hands of Fanth the Marshal, who obviously we seen him wear in this episode. So I'm really excited for episode 2, guys, really am. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down in the comments, and don't forget that I've only seen the first episode so far. But I really enjoyed it, honestly, so it is a thumbs up from me. I would give it a 10 out of 10. It was amazing. I will see you all in my next video, but until then, guys, take care, and I will speak to you soon, guys. Bye.